guys, and it's finished. Arsenal 5, Wolves 0. What a way to end the season. Very, very comfortable. And yeah, look, listen, it was a fitting end. It was a fitting end. And Granit Xhaka, within 3 minutes scoring, scores again straight after. And it looks very much like it's his last game for the club. And it's a very fitting end for him. A very turbulent time at Arsenal, but what a season he's had. Redemption, and I'm so glad he's had the season he's had, and he's, you know, been able to leave in a really good way. And I think you see it with what was being sung in the stadium when he was substituted about they want him to stay. And yeah, it's what I will look at is sentiment. Granit Xhaka's at an age now where a big contract like he's going to get in Germany is really difficult to turn down. And if we want to propel ourselves to that next level, then sentiment is not going to get you there. For too many years, we've complained as fans about players staying and getting longer contracts, etc. And we're being sentimental. So it's one of those ones where I feel that if we're upgrading, it's good. And I like that ruthlessness about us. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I've seen some comments already, people saying that Man City have dropped 5 points in the last 2 games because, of course, they lost to Brentford today. They also dropped points against Brighton in midweek. The 2 away games that we were all looking at and saying they could drop some points there. But I want to put it into a bit of context first. Let's be real about this now. Man City had already won the league. I anticipated their level to have dropped. Against Brighton, you could see their level had dropped. And ironically, they still nearly won the game. Haaland had a goal disallowed. But when I looked at their lineup, for today's game, and the fact they've got the FA Cup final next week and then the Champions League final, I was like, it wouldn't surprise me if they lost this one, to be fair. So it's very easy to say, they've dropped 5 points, and if we would have beaten Brighton and Nottingham Forest, we'd be champions right now. Listen, if buts and maybes at the end of the day, Man City had already won the league. I don't think they would have been losing to Brentford if they had to win it to be champions. Put it that way. So, yeah, you know what? We've had a really good season. It's been a massive progress, massive change from last year. Back in the Champions League. Yes, there is disappointment. Yes, there are, certain moments that you look back on and you think, what if? But what I will say is that I've seen enough there to say quite confidently as well, if we make the reinforcements that we, are anticipating, we go and get the players that Mikel wants, I genuinely believe we will be in this position again next season, challenging for the title, and I think we can go one step further and win the Premier League. I genuinely believe that. I don't think anybody else in the Premier League is going to be close to getting near the levels that Arsenal and Man City have set this season. I look at Manchester United. They've still got a lot of work to do. Yes, they're going to reinforce, a couple of areas in the summer and whatnot. But I look at them in a lot of their games and I don't really see what their identity is. I don't really see a side that's dominant and attack-minded. This is why they finished with 30 goals less than Arsenal. Over 40 less than Man City. Their, goals scored and their goal difference was awful. So that's obviously an area they're going to have to try and address, is the attacking areas. And I don't think it's just the striker. I think in the wide areas and whatnot, they're going to need to do things. And yeah, I still feel that it's going to be a couple more years before you would really start to see something from Manchester United. That's my genuine opinion on that. Liverpool, I think they need a lot of players. I think defensively they're poor. I think in the midfield they're poor. I think in attack they're going to cause anyone problems. but I feel that it's going to take some time with them. Chelsea, it's going to take time. Maurizio Pochettino looks like he's the manager now. It's going to take time. You've got to get rid of a load of them players. You've got to then decide what you're keeping. You've got to then try and integrate your style and your philosophy and ideas and everything else. And it's not that easy, you know. And yeah, they're going to have a free run of it with no European football. But it's not that easy when you think about how many changes there are. He's not walking into a club that's kind of 90% there. They've spent £600 million and they look like a championship team. I'm not even exaggerating. Some of the performances I've seen of late, Chelsea fans will tell you themselves, it's like watching a championship side. It's been dreadful. Spurs, they're Spurs. It just is what it is. The likes of Brighton, how will they fare next season, being in the Europa League? Brentford have had a fantastic season. Fulham have had a fantastic season. Everton have, survived by the skin of their teeth again. Feel really sorry for Leicester being relegated, Premier League champions a few years ago. And this is the thing as well. Don't ever sit there and come up with your stupidness about Arsenal having a season just like Leicester. One thing I tell you now, Arsenal ain't getting relegated in a couple of years' time. Leicester are on a par with Blackburn. You know, had that wonderful one season and then it all falls apart. And don't ever compare us. We ain't the same. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward to the summer. I'm looking forward to seeing what we do in the transfer window. If we do go and get Declan Rice, if we do get a Caicedo and whatnot, we're in business. Big time we're in business. And we're ahead of everyone else that I've already mentioned. So I think that next season it will be Arsenal, Man City again. It's as simple as that. If you're writing us off and you're saying we're not even going to get in the top four, give your head a wobble. You don't know what you're talking about. You haven't got a clue about football. You know, some people, just because you're born with lips, don't mean you should be using them. Seriously. It's like, stop talking. I see it all the time with so many podcasts and stuff. And I'm like, honest to God, take their equipment away from them. Never heard such shambles in all my life. But, yeah, listen, it is what it is. Season's done. I'm looking forward to the break. It's been good for me coming back, and just slowly reintegrating and getting used to everything again and, bringing out content and whatnot. But what I've now got the opportunity of doing is that I've had my, my own studio and everything being done over the last couple of months. And I sat there and I said, I'm going to leave it till next season. And I'm going to hit the ground running, and you're going to see a lot of content next year. What you can expect from the channel is a complete and utter change, rebrand. We're going to be doing sports in general as well as Arsenal. In terms of, I'm going to be bringing on fans from other clubs to talk about, matches that are upcoming. We're going to be doing podcasts. There's going to be fan cams as well from the stadium. And yeah, the usual previews and reviews and player ratings and everything else. So you're about to see a lot, and I can't wait, and that's for sure. So listen, massive shout out to everyone that's been watching. Massive shout out to everybody that supports. But yeah, the season's done. We finished second. We got Champions League football, and we move. So yeah, listen, if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button, smash a like on this video, and I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.